Let's rewind to June 21st, 2025. Trump, in his second term, orders airstrikes on 3 Iranian nuclear sites, citing national security threats amid Iran's escalating tensions with Israel. The move is bold, divisive, and critics argue unauthorized. AOC, a leading voice in the progressive squad, wastes no time. On June 22nd, she takes to X, declaring that Trump's disastrous decision to bomb Iran without authorization is a grave violation of the Constitution and congressional war powers. She warns of a war that could ensnare us for generations and demands impeachment. Her posts go viral, racking up millions of views and igniting a firestorm. Progressive allies like Representatives Al Green and Ilhan Omar echo her call, while moderates in her party hesitate, wary of political fallout after the Democrats' 2024 election losses. Trump, predictably, doesn't take this lying down. On June 24th, he unleashes a truth social tirade, calling AOC stupid AOC and mocking her intelligence. He suggests she take a cognitive test, boasting that he aced his own at Walter Reed Medical Center. He also takes a swipe at her district, telling her to go back home to Queens and straighten out her filthy, disgusting, crime-ridden streets. The personal attacks don't stop there. Trump calls AOC a rodent in one post, escalating the rhetoric to a level that has even some conservatives raising eyebrows. OC fires back on X, dripping with sarcasm. "Mr. President, don't take your anger out on me. I'm just a silly girl." She accuses him of betraying Americans by illegally bombing Iran and breaking campaign promises, adding, "He wanted to pick a fight with me, and he's going to lose that." This exchange isn't just political theater. It's a window into the fault lines of American politics. AOC's impeachment taps into a broader debate about executive power. The Constitution requires congressional approval for acts of war, but presidents from both parties, Obama, Biden, and now Trump, have sidestepped this with impunity. AOC's critics, including 128 House Democrats who voted against an impeachment bid on June 25th, argue that her stance is performative, given the precedent. But her supporters see her as a principled voice holding a reckless president accountable. Meanwhile, Trump's base loves his unfiltered attacks, seeing AOC as a symbol of everything they reject: progressive policies, urban elitism, and woke culture. The Iran strikes themselves are contentious. A leaked intelligence report, cited by Al Jazeera on June 25th, casts doubt on Trump's claim that Iran's nuclear program was obliterated. The ceasefire he brokered is shaky, and his erratic behavior, yelling at reporters that Iran and Israel don't know what the fuck they're doing, undermines his statesman image. For American listeners, this raises a question. Is Trump a decisive leader protecting national security, or a loose cannon risking global stability? AOC's impeachment call, while bold, faces an uphill battle in a Republican-controlled Congress, but it's amplifying her influence and rallying her base. The AOC-Trump feud has always been personal, but in June 2025, it's gotten downright vicious. Trump's truth social posts, calling AOC stupid, a rodent, and telling her to go back home to Queens, aren't just insults. They're calculated to inflame. He's tapping into a playbook that's worked for him since 2016, painting opponents as weak, incompetent, or un-American. By targeting AOC's intelligence and her district, Trump aims to diminish her as a lightweight who doesn't belong in the big leagues. It's a tactic that resonates with his base, who see AOC as the face of everything they despise: progressive socialism, urban liberalism, and a younger, diverse generation challenging the status quo. A June 25th X poll by conservative influencer Jack Poso, with 45,000 votes, showed 78% of respondents agreeing that AOC is too dumb to challenge Trump. That's the sentiment Trump's leaning into. But AOC's no shrinking violet. Her response, dripping with sarcasm on X, calling herself a silly girl while slamming Trump's illegal Iran strikes, shows she's mastered the art of clapping back. She's not just defending herself. She's turning Trump's attacks into fuel for her brand. On June 24th, she posted a video on Instagram, standing in her Bronx district, addressing Trump directly. "You call my home filthy, but I'm here fighting for working people while you golf and tweet. Who's really out of touch?" The video racked up 10 million views, with hashtags like hashtag AOC fights back trending. Her supporters, young, progressive, and diverse, see her as a hero taking on a bully. AOC's ability to weaponize Trump's insults has made her a cultural icon for the left, much like Trump is for the right. This personal feud is inseparable from the culture war. Trump's attacks on AOC's intelligence and district carry gendered and racial undertones that aren't lost on anyone. Calling a Latina congresswoman stupid, or her district disgusting echoes his past remarks about shithole countries, or telling the squad to go back to where they came from. AOC, born in the Bronx to Puerto Rican parents, leans into her identity, framing Trump's attacks as assaults on working-class, minority communities. In a June 25 CNN interview, she said, "When he attacks me, he's attacking every American who's ever been underestimated, every community he thinks he can write off." It's a powerful narrative that resonates with younger voters, especially Gen Z and millennials, who make up 40% of the electorate in 2025, per Pew Research. Meanwhile, Trump's base sees AOC as the embodiment of a woke left they believe threatens traditional American values. Her Green New Deal, her push for Medicare for all, and now her impeachment call are red meat for conservatives who view her as a socialist boogeyman. Fox News, on June 24th, ran a segment titled AOC's Impeachment Obsession, with host Laura Ingraham calling her a performative radical who'd rather grandstand than govern. The segment polled viewers, with 85% saying AOC's impeachment push was a waste of time. This divide, Trump as the defender of real America versus AOC as the voice of a progressive future, is the culture war in microcosm. It's not just about Iran or impeachment. It's about who gets to define America. The personal attacks also reveal a strategic game. Trump's insults keep AOC in the spotlight, amplifying her influence even as he tries to tear her down. AOC, in turn, uses Trump's attacks to rally her base and raise her profile. A June 25th report from Politico noted that AOC's campaign fundraising spiked 30% after her impeachment posts, pulling in $1.2 million in small-dollar donations. Trump, meanwhile, uses the feud to energize his supporters, with Truth Social engagement on his AOC posts surpassing his Iran strike announcements. For both, this feud is a win-win in a polarized America where attention is currency. The AOC-Trump showdown is a media goldmine. Since AOC's impeachment call on June 22, 2025, cable news, X, and TikTok have been flooded with takes, memes, and hot debates. Fox News has leaned hard into framing AOC as a radical socialist obsessed with impeaching Trump, with a June 25th segment on Hannity showing clips of her ex-posts alongside ominous music, warning that her dangerous rhetoric threatens national unity. Over on MSNBC, Rachel Maddow took a different tack, praising AOC's courage for challenging Trump's Iran strikes but questioning whether impeachment is a strategic misstep given the GOP-controlled Congress. CNN, trying to play the middle, ran a June 24th panel pitting a progressive strategist against a Trump advisor, resulting in a shouting match that went viral for its chaos more than its insight. These outlets aren't just reporting the feud, they're shaping how Americans see it. Social media, especially X, is where the real fireworks happen. AOC's posts, like her sarcastic silly girl jab at Trump, have been retweeted millions of times, with hashtags like hashtag AOC fights back and hashtag impeach Trump trending daily since June 23rd. Trump's Truth Social rants, meanwhile, are screenshotted and shared across X, where MAGA supporters amplify his insults while critics dunk on his grammar. A June 25th X post from @TheRealPatriot, a pro-Trump account with 500,000 followers, called AOC a national embarrassment and got 100,000 likes. On the flip side, @ProgressiveVibes, a left-leaning account, posted a meme of AOC as Wonder Woman blocking Trump's tweets, garnering 80,000 retweets. This digital tug-of-war isn't just noise. It's a battle for public opinion, with each side preaching to its choir. The media frenzy has real consequences. A June 25th Gallup poll showed 48% of Americans support AOC's impeachment push, but 60% believe it's unlikely to succeed, reflecting skepticism about Congress acting. The same poll found Trump's approval rating steady at 45%, suggesting his base is unfazed by the Iran controversy or AOC's attacks. For AOC, the media spotlight has boosted her profile but also exposed her to criticism. A June 24 New York Times op-ed argued that her impeachment call, while principled, risks alienating moderate Democrats who fear it'll cost them in the 2026 midterms. The piece sparked a backlash on X, with AOC tweeting, "The establishment always wants us to play small. I'm not here for that." Her defiance plays well with her base but widens the rift within her party. The media's role isn't just amplification, it's polarization. Outlets like Breitbart and the Daily Beast churn out clickbait headlines, with Breitbart calling AOC Trump's public enemy #1, and the Daily Beast dubbing Trump AOC's favorite piñata. This framing pits them as cartoonish foes, obscuring the substantive issues like war powers or foreign policy. For American listeners, this raises a question. Are we getting the full story, or just a reality show? The Iran strikes, for instance, have faded from headlines as the AOC Trump insults dominate. A June 25 BBC report noted that the shaky Iran ceasefire, brokered by Trump, is at risk, but you'd barely know it from cable news obsession with the feud. Politically, this feud is reshaping 2025's landscape. AOC's impeachment push has galvanized progressives, but strained ties with Democratic leadership, who see it as a distraction from economic messaging. House Speaker Hakeem Jeffries, in a June 25 statement, urged focus on kitchen table issues, a subtle jab at AOC's crusade. For Trump, the feud is a distraction from Iran's fallout and a chance to rally his base ahead of 2026, when Republicans face a tough Senate map. Both are playing to their audiences, but at what cost? The media's love affair with this drama risks drowning out the bigger picture. A nation grappling with global tensions, economic worries, and a democracy under strain. The AOC-Trump showdown has lit a fire under both sides. On the MAGA front, Trump's base is eating up his attacks on AOC. At a June 24 rally in Tampa, Florida, attended by 15,000 supporters, Trump spent 10 minutes railing against stupid AOC and her impeachment push, calling her a disgrace to Congress. The crowd erupted, chanting "Lock her up," a throwback to 2016 that shows the fervor hasn't faded. Signs reading "AOC hates America" and "Trump 2025. No more rodents" dotted the crowd, echoing his truth social insults. A June 25 X post from @MAGA Forever, a pro-Trump account with 300,000 followers, shared rally footage with the caption, "AOC picked a fight with the wrong president." It got 50,000 likes, showing how Trump's base sees this feud as a rallying cry. For these supporters, AOC isn't just a politician. She's a symbol of a progressive agenda they believe threatens their way of life. On the progressive side, AOC's impeachment call has galvanized her supporters. On June 25, a coalition of activist groups like Justice Democrats and Sunrise Movement organized protests in New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles, drawing thousands. In New York's Foley Square, 5,000 protesters waved signs reading, "No war, no Trump, and AOC speaks for us." Speakers praised AOC's courage for challenging Trump's Iran strikes, with one activist calling her the voice of a generation. A viral TikTok video from the NYC protest, showing a Gen Z protester shouting, "Trump's a coward, AOC's a queen," racked up 2 million views. AOC herself joined the New York crowd via video call, urging them to keep fighting for accountability. Her campaign reported a 25% spike in volunteer signups after the protests, per a June 26 Politico report, showing her grassroots momentum. These reactions reveal a deeply divided America. Trump's rallies, often in red states or exurban areas, draw a largely white, working-class crowd that sees him as a defender against socialist elites like AOC. A June 25 Rasmussen poll found 82% of Trump voters view AOC as dangerously radical, with 70% supporting his Iran strikes. Conversely, AOC's protests, concentrated in urban, blue-leaning cities, attract a younger, more diverse crowd, 40% under 30 per protest organizers, who see her as a champion against authoritarianism. The same poll showed 75% of Democratic voters under 40 back AOC's impeachment push, though only 45% of all Democrats agree, highlighting generational and ideological splits. The grassroots energy isn't just about this feud, it's a preview of 2020 SIXS midterms. Trump's rallies are doubling as campaign stops for GOP candidates, with figures like Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene tying their brand to his anti-AOC rhetoric. At the Tampa rally, Greene called AOC a communist wannabe and vowed to crush her agenda in Congress. On the left, AOC's protests are energizing progressive candidates, with groups like Our Revolution endorsing 20 new squad style contenders for 2026. But there's a catch. The Democratic establishment, wary of AOC's polarizing image, is distancing itself. A June 26 Axios report quoted an anonymous DNC strategist saying, "AOC's great for clicks, but she's not helping us win swing districts." This tension could fracture Democratic unity. For American listeners, these grassroots reactions raise big questions. Are Trump's rallies a sign of enduring GOP dominance, or a last gasp of a shrinking base? Are AOC's protests building a progressive future, or preaching to an urban choir? The Iran strikes, the original spark, are barely mentioned at these events. Both sides are more focused on the AOC-Trump cage match. This shows how personal feuds can overshadow policy, a trend that's defining 2025's politics. As one Tampa rallygoer told Newsmax, "I don't care about Iran. I just want Trump to shut AOC up." On the flip side, a Chicago protester told NPR, "AOC's fighting for peace, and that's why we're here." This feud, sparked by Trump's Iran strikes and AOC's impeachment push, isn't just a 2025 headline. It's a snapshot of America at a crossroads. AOC and Trump are more than politicians. They're avatars for competing visions. AOC, at 35, channels a progressive, diverse urban America that demands systemic change on climate, healthcare, and war powers. Her impeachment call, while unlikely to succeed in a GOP Congress, has cemented her as a leader for a generation that feels ignored by Washington. A June 26 YouGov poll shows 65% of Americans under 30 view her favorably, a number that's grown since her 2018 upset victory. Her ability to turn Trump's insults into rallying cries, like her viral "Silly Girl" X post, shows she's not just playing defense, she's building a movement. Trump, at 79, represents a populist, conservative America that feels under siege. His base, rural, working class, and largely white, sees him as a bulwark against woke elites and globalist policies. His Iran strikes, despite their controversy, and his unfiltered attacks on AOC play to a crowd that values strength over diplomacy. The same YouGov poll shows 55% of Americans over 50 approve of Trump's foreign policy, even as 60% worry about escalation with Iran. His Truth Social tirades, calling AOC stupid or a rodent, aren't gaffes. They're deliberate signals to his base that he's fighting their fight. In 2025, with his second term in full swing, Trump's influence over the GOP remains ironclad, setting the stage for a contentious 2026 midterm. The implications of this feud ripple far beyond X or cable news. First, it's reshaping political priorities. AOC's focus on impeachment has sidelined Democratic messaging on economic issues like inflation, which a June 25 CNBC report pegged at 3.8%, a persistent voter concern. Trump, meanwhile, uses the feud to dodge scrutiny over Iran's shaky ceasefire, which a June 26 Reuters report says is teetering after renewed Israeli strikes. This distraction game benefits both. AOC raises millions, Trump rallies his base, but it leaves Americans grappling with unanswered questions about war, jobs, and democracy. Second, it's deepening polarization. A June 26 Pew study found 80% of Americans feel the country is more divided than ever, with AOC and Trump cited as top symbols of that divide. Their feud isn't causing the split, but it's pouring gasoline on ITSO. Is there a path to resolution? Don't hold your breath. AOC and Trump thrive on this conflict. It's their oxygen. AOC's impeachment push, while principled, is a long shot. The House voted 128 to 80 against it on June 25 per C-SPAN. Trump's insults only embolden her, and her clapbacks keep him relevant. Yet, there's a sliver of hope in shared frustrations. Both tap into distrust of elites. AOC rails against corporate power, Trump against the deep state. A hypothetical truce could start there, focusing on populist issues like trade or infrastructure. But in 2025's toxic climate, that feels like a pipe dream. A June 26th X post from @Bipartisan Hope, a centrist account, got just 500 likes for suggesting AOC and Trump could agree on fighting Big Pharma. Compare that to the millions of likes on their feud posts, and you see the problem: division sells. For American listeners, this feud is a wake-up call. It's not just about AOC or Trump. It's about us. Do we want a politics of spectacle, or one that solves problems? The 2026 midterms loom, and both sides are gearing up. AOC's protests are spawning new candidates. Trump's rallies are boosting GOP hopefuls. The outcome will shape whether America leans progressive or populist, or stays stuck in gridlock. As we close, ask yourself, what kind of country do you want? Because this feud, as entertaining as it is, won't answer that for you.